Maybe. We did it. We're at a brand new year. Now what? Oh no. Actually, I got an idea. But anyway, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, January 1st, 2026. And I'm curious, and I bet, I don't know, let's see if I actually, when I put the title together, if I did it right and actually said 2026 instead of 2025. Let's look. I don't see it. Weird. Let me fix that. I don't know. Anyway, but we made it, kids. Happy New Year. Brand new, shiny, squeaky, all kinds of amazing things that we need to be doing with ourselves and our lives. I wonder if I can do this. I've never tried to update the titles while I was live. Let's see. I did it right, actually. Okay, cool. So never mind. We're good. We're good. Anyway, did you guys have a good time last night? I did. I stayed up way too late. And that's the thing. It's like, how do you know I'm still not a drinking guy anymore? Because I was up way too late to be a drinking guy. Even in my drinking days, I don't think I could have handled. Like I wouldn't be up now. I might be, but you would be able to smell me through the monitor if I was. So anyway, let's pin this to the top. Why is everything freezing? Let me see if I... Nope, there I am. I'm not froze. I actually feel kind of warm, as a matter of fact. But anyway, good morning, all. And I do hope you are having the best new year you've ever had. You're like, wow, this 2026 thing is awesome. Why didn't we do this sooner? And I'd be like, time. It happens. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, it's like I hope you've mapped out some things that you want to get done this year. And again, I say mapped out, not New Year's resolutions. Those things suck. They don't work. Okay, here's the question. Have you, be honest, have you made New Year's resolutions, specifically New Year's resolutions, that from January 1st till it was finally done, you actually fulfilled a New Year's resolution? I'm just asking. I'm curious. Because, again, resolutions are great, but they normally fall the wayside. Because, again, what we do, you know it, I know it, we know it, that it's like we're doing this and we're going to, here we go. But we don't put together a system to actually get us through the steps and make the changes that we need to actually make and implement new things. We all do it. Don't feel bad. I am not judging you. I'm trying to help you. It's true. It really is. Good morning, Damien. Glad to see you, buddy. You made it. You made it. Who knew? If for sure, who would? But you did. And I'm proud of you. Very much so. The rest of them, I don't know. But I'm curious what else open and people having to work today. I really am a little curious, not a lot curious, because I've got the most wonderful thing in the world in this phase of life that I'm at is I'd say 95% of any and all work I do is at home, which is like a dream come true. Not a home-based job. That would suck. Tried that. Did not work out. Terrible for the health. But as my own business and company, I like this a whole lot. Because to be able to just roll out, and from the rollout to just boom right into the office I couldn't ask for any more. It's great. I love this. But now it does take a lot of self-discipline. So if you're looking to go into like business for yourself, you definitely want to be mindful of that. Because a lot of folks, you should actually create something that is yours. Period. Full stop. End of statement. That hopefully, as best you can, no one can take away from you. There you go. It takes time, though. Oh, gosh. Pardon me. Still, as you know, still a little, but much better than yesterday. Much, much better. Definitely feeling better, can think better. Not nearly as foggy today. So I'm very good with that. Today, what else is going on? Let's see if we can talk about things that are profound, maybe. Like one of the things that's profound, if you missed it right now, today it kicked in. The state reduced food tax to 0.000% across the state. But now here's my question to you. Was it necessary to have all of those zeros for just 0? Is there another number back there? It's like 0.0009, could it be? We don't know. But why would you do that? Anybody have any idea why they would do that? You would still have 0.000%? Does that make any... I'm just curious. Does it just look better from a graphic standpoint and a layout standpoint? I can't say. I don't... No, it doesn't really look any better. But just so you know now, though, but the state sales and use tax rate for food tax has been reduced to 0.000%. It's just funny. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just going to click on the buttons, see if there's anything new. But yeah, we'll look into all this. I don't know. Well, actually, this is going to be a big part of what's coming for my 2026 in everything that I'm doing, because I'm getting very, very serious about the virtual stump outreach. Because frankly, it's all running fast, because you figure we've got the March primary coming up, right? And we got early voting starting in February. So if you're a candidate and you are looking to reach people, hustle, baby, hustle. Because now's the time. Now is the time. I hope you've all made the right plans and proper choices, and you're not doing things that are annoying, but instead informative and educational, and be a little entertaining in your pitching process. Saw this one guy. I don't know much about him. I do believe he's running for governor on the Democrat side of the ballot. And his name is Fred Love, I do believe it. How about Fred? If it's Frank and not Fred, I apologize. But Fred Love, seen his stuff on TikTok, and working on. He's trying to get his personality out there, which is nice to see. But I don't know. But the virtual stuff's going statewide now, so excuse me. My emphasis on Boone County still matters because I live here. But now I'm taking it to the next level. I'm going statewide. I want to hit every single one of the 75 counties in Arkansas, including Boone, that where there are contested races. That's where I'm going to go statewide. Now I wanted everybody for Boone County, but some folks are just a little more cocky than they should be since they're running unopposed. Yeah, I don't like that. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But I'm going to start reaching out there, and I'm going to start recording and capturing people's who they are, what they're running for, and why people should vote for them. And of course, that's only going to matter to those counties. But guess what? It matters to those counties. And this is a 100%. I got to watch my words, because this is a nonprofit thing, right? This is a civic outreach from me to the citizens of Arkansas. Because why? Somebody needs to do it. And I can tell you, it's funny, because now that I've started putting things out, I'm starting to see like the bot ads in my feed, and whoa, nilly bozo, there's a lot. So if you are a candidate and you're seeing a lot of these ads, double, triple, super check that you're dealing with a human being. Because again, I'm all about the robots. I love the tech. I'm cool with it, but that doesn't necessarily mean the tech is being used by someone you really actually want to give your credit card information to, okay? So be very careful, and never, ever have to pay to play. I can't stress that enough. I learned that just a couple weeks ago when I was getting the virtual stump video for Micah Ashby, who's running for Senate on the Republican ticket, going up against Jeb Little and the incumbent Senator Tom Cotton. Anyway, that there are these bots, or maybe not all bot, maybe part bot, putting together these websites that has everybody on there who's running for anything, right? But then they start posing questions, and if you don't pay to play, you can't answer the question. So it makes it look like you're not participating. That's why in this virtual stump outreach, it's very simple. It's free to everyone who is on a ballot in the state of Arkansas, okay? Period. Secondly, you will never have to pay to be on the virtual stump. Now, do I have a service that I can offer you to help with your content for your campaign? Absolutely. But you're not required by any other obligation whatsoever to do that, okay? The stump is the stump is the stump. And I'm going to keep it that way for that reason, because we need that as far as I'm concerned. We need a neutral, we need that neutral platform and voice. We just do. Excuse me. Also, today is going to be a good day for a lot of final decisions on what I'm going to do with particular outreaches that I've got, like the 72601 Life Guide. Frankly, just the FOIA request I put in and the sheet that I got, the database that I got from the city, which is much appreciated, very prompt. I appreciate that. But it's sloppy. And honestly, I'm not that interested in having to sift and fight through that. Because you see, most folks don't know, I originally did that manually back in 2024. I got the list. It was not sorted by any category. Hell, it wasn't even in alphabetical order. And it was just a mess. And I had to do it all manually. And I'm not doing that this time. But it is still going to exist in a form because I've still got a database from that first initial one. There's really not been that many changes. But I'm going to kind of shift what happens with it and what I'm going to do. But I know everyone who was with me in 2024, I'm still with you today. And we're going to talk about things and keep talking about you because I'm loyal to a fault. Perhaps. Maybe it's just the right amount. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I am so dry as a bone because I kind of, well, not kind of, I really overdid like the sugary stuff last night. Not the booze. But hey, we trade one poison pill for another, right? But it was just a lot of fruits, little like snacky fruit stuff, strawberries, grapes, and all that. And there was chocolate involved, yes. But it's just so funny because sugar is sugar is sugar with the whole type 2 thing. Be careful. Don't be like Jim was last night, okay? Okay. So yeah, so I'm a little dry from all that, but yeah, but our coffee time is going to remain sacred because we're going to just enjoy the morning, get us up to date with one another, let each other know we're not alone, and it doesn't have to be a lonely world, and you also don't have to be sold to 24/7. But wait, there's more. There is going to be more content coming from me of a show variety that is only going to focus on the 3 things that I'm focusing on right now, as far as the book and the project and the service. But again, it's about information and entertainment once again for me. I think I've got this thing built the way I want it, to where I can do these things again as if I was still in traditional broadcasting. That's how it worked, right? You do shows, you put them on air. People are like, oh, that's great, let's watch. And then people sell ads to be on the shows. And I'm not doing that part. I'm still going to do that a little different, other than the book. The book, though, is the product. So it'd be like not an infomercial, but an infomercial maybe. Because that's it. It'll just fund it that way. The evergreen content stuff, same thing. It'll be helpful and beneficial without costing you a dime, but I'll have something in there that you might want to look at if you want to go to the next level, because we are into the age of AI. I wish we could change that. I was thinking about that last night, like just the term AI, artificial intelligence. Kind of, let's go Shakespeare for a second. Would a rose by any other name still smell just as sweet? I think that term, artificial intelligence, there's that word was designed with intent. Firmly believe that. And artificial intelligence, there's something about the word that makes it spooky and bad when it comes to the technology, because it's not intelligence. And although they put the caveat in front, artificial intelligence, it's misleading, and it's been used enough in science fiction and other pop culture things to make it sound scary, when it could be scary, just as scary again as using any other form of technology. Thinking about that, right? Yesterday, I had kind of a thought pop into my head, and I've got it on my Facebook feed. But when you think about like all things AI, again, nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. And I'd almost bet you at every stage of all these new things that came along to replace the old things that didn't really replace, but instead just kind of morphed and transformed. Okay, it's kind of the way it's always been, right? It's like from candle to light your room, you've got the LED light bulb now, the Obama bulbs. But all right, so you got that, but that applies to like everything. If you look at like in the example I used yesterday, or the was music. Music. There's a lot going on in that space for music with AI, and it seems like a bit of it is a slippery slope. Let's be real. Me personally, when I first started, well, when I first heard about it, then I tried it out. There's two sides of it to me. One side is it is a remarkably useful tool when it comes to needing production music. You know, as far as just underlying beds, things like that. Remarkably useful, handy. I think it's great. If you've ever had to sift through a production library to pull music, notice what I said there. Sift through a production library, already pre-recorded music. Okay, and it's generic and everything else. That is a thing, right? So you get that right there. But the other side of it is novelty in generating AI music, because I don't see that part. If it's just generating the whole thing, typically like make me song, click, make me song that's scary, click, you know, that's fine. But well, actually, okay, Damien, we're going. Today, you and I are going to have some fun with this because none of it's good. Yes, it is. Because why would I say not all of it's good? But it has, again, like any other tool, it serves a purpose. Okay, back to the music thing. Okay, to think that to throw the baby out with the bathwater on, say, like AI generated music. Again, you have to then. At what point do you say music begins? If it's the human element, this is what got me on this line of thought. If it's specifically the human element, okay, well, once it goes past the musician playing live, everything from that point is artificial. You see? Like again, a musician playing live with a band or solo act, humming, whatever. That's the human core. But as soon as, and the first instance I could think of moving into the realm of recorded / artificial music presentation, I think what that would be first would be printed sheet music, maybe even just handwritten. Okay, we'll go that one half step back. That handwritten music, but then it had to be duplicated. Uh-oh. So then whoever spoke that language of notes and all the other sharps and flats and time signatures and everything else, you would have to know how to speak that language, but then you could interpret what the original composer was saying. But that is artificial. See where I'm going here? Next step that I would be technologically would be like a player piano. Because if you recall that, or heard of, in the Victorian era, when everybody started, the late Victorian era, when pianos became a thing in the home, to where everybody had a piano in their house, because somebody in the house would play the piano for the sake of music. And they would use what? Sheet music. But then you also had the player piano, where you had the scroll that worked basically like a music box, and just had little dots in the paper that would then, instead of you having to read the music or know how to play the machine, it was automated. Okay? So you're not playing the machine, you cannot read the language, but yet you get all the benefits of the music that was composed by a human being on the other side. And now we're talking 150 years ago now. Okay? So then, what happens whenever Edison gets involved and starts doing the whole thing with recording sound, wax cylinders and all that? Once again, we're going into the territory of it's an artificial thing. It's not the source musician. It's a replication. And then you can fast forward through everything else because once we have the recording medium, and then we have broadcast radio and a way to send out stuff, etc., to where we are today. So by that line of thought, Not saying I'm right, not saying I'm wrong. It's just a matter of perspective. Artificial things have been part of an evolution in society, but humans are the problem. That's it. Because it's like as soon as the first person wrote down the notes on the paper and they captured their song. Well, as soon as the first Shecky Mozzarella showed up and said, "Hey, let me take a look at that," and sneak over to the side and had to hand copy it. Well, Shecky's Shecky. And Shecky then runs off to the guy he knows who's got a printing press and says, "Yo, let's make some money." And he bootlegs it right then and there. Pirating of music probably always been in play. So you see what I'm saying? It's a matter of the intention of the person who's doing whatever they are with the tool. And they're just food for thought. That's all, just food for thought. But, oh, well, hell, for that matter, when you look at like intellectual property, okay, like January 1st is also like public domain day, where there are a lot of folks out there, and God bless them for it, where they are keeping, then announcing and putting together lists of things that are going into the public domain today, because now with the way a lot of because again in the U.S. our copyright laws are funny. They are lock solid for a long time, longer than it was originally intended it for be, for certain people. Otherwise, your copyright protection, just get ready to spend a lot of money to fight for that in court. But anyway, that's here and there. But with that said, one of the big things for 2026 that's coming to the public domain are some of the first works of the character Nancy Drew. And again, of course, remember what that means. First works. It's what came out first, like with the Steamboat Willie thing. So Mickey Mouse was in the public domain. Well, sort of. Winnie the Pooh. Well, sort of. It's first showing, right? It's like when they first showed up, not something you saw that was released last week that just happens to be the updated Steamboat Willie. No. But even then, how... I know that I've seen that a lot of folks like the Winnie the Pooh horror flick slasher thing that somebody put together, because since Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain, they're like, oh, now we can turn Winnie into a total killer. Okay, why? But it's funny, haha. No, it's not really. But in all that said, it's like it's interesting that we do lock in copyrights for so long, because it's like 95 years now, which is good from the time of creation or the author's death or whatever. Getting yeah, something like that. It's like, yeah, see, and that's the thing. It's like kind of going back, and to anyone who's not paying, well, if you're watching on YouTube and not on the Facebook where the comments can be seen, for me, it lets untalented individuals to claim talent as long as a human created it. Okay, I'm not sure. You kind of lost me there with the FOK. Their own head, I'm okay. Well, see, and that's the trick. And the hard part that people are going to have to come to terms with. I myself had to come to terms with. Over the years, I've watched that as soon as the internet became a thing, and MP3s were really a thing, and then evolution of video to where we are with video compression to where you can actually, okay, think about it like this. Before MP3s, and you had WAV files. They were big. They were clunky as far as digital goes. Sharing and saving them were equally clunky and such. Well, then once the MP3 format worked down that size and scale, that's when everything started going nuts with Napster and things like that. Uh, that model, but again, it boils down to what the humans do with the technology. And with this AI, I think I'm just going to quit saying artificial intelligence altogether and just say AI. I wish I was on that planning committee. But with AI, the truth of the matter is, it's already being used and having been used for a longer time than you and I are familiar with. And the most we can hope for is just like when it comes to gun safety. Oh, unpopular thing to say, but a respectable, responsible gun owner, great. It's the ones who don't do that part about being respectable and responsible. That's when we get into the sticky wickets, right? And then then you got people who think everything has to work in absolutes. And again, another sticky wicket. Uh, but personal responsibility, that works. It really does. Until we have a society that has given up on personal responsibility because that's hard and really wants regulations from a governing body. And that sucks because we wouldn't want, but truthfully, we do want that. It'd be honest with yourself. We do. We all want that crap. Sometimes it's easier not to think on things that are pretty mundane, but we do. Oh my gosh. Okay, the nose is doing thing is. I'm going to wrap this thing up kind of quick, but I want to share something. You want to see something cool? This is my first print of the 2026. Saw the model, thought it was awesome, shocked with how big it is. But man, look at that. Daffy Duck as Superman. I remember the one cartoon when we were kids where it was Superman. Because I guess they hadn't worked out the deal yet. But so Warner Brothers didn't own Looney Tunes and DC. But this thing is massive. It is so cute, and I love the vibrant colors. And I like it when Daffy is kind of eyeballing you. A little side eye there. But it's just really cool. Anyway, that's first print of 2026. That's going up into the totem realm. And another reason why I have no desire to buy anything at retail anymore, because all this stuff is boring. But to find stuff like that is just amazing. Oh, exactly. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Damien, that is the should be the new thing on the dollar bill. Instead of "In God We Trust," it should just say, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Maybe we can lobby for that. I don't know. Anyway, I got to get off here before this thing explodes in the face and all that, and that would be gross. But I'm going to go and wrap it up. I'm not even going to push for this 30-minute thing today. See it starting to happen. So I don't want to gross you out, or me either. Who wants to get germs and slime and crap on your microphone? I don't. It's gross. But we'll do it again tomorrow, Lord willing. If I'm open, if I'm on this planet at 8 o'clock, we're going to have coffee every morning. And we're going to actually make it a much more productive conversation every single day in some way. But the most productive part already is that we're not alone in this thing, kids, because we got each other, water, and coffee.